happens on Facebook.
Yeah, it happens.
All right, so thank you for those who are joining us here. This is our third interview of the day. The first time we had the show 2+ years, 3 guests on this show. My third and final guest for the day is Miss Amber Jackson. She's an author, she's a speaker. So she pressed her way here from Jersey to get here. Her and Philly did not get along whatsoever, but she told me that before. But she made it way to here, and so we actually passed our interview time, but we'll go forward with that. So Amber, how are you doing today?
I am doing absolutely wonderful in my journey to Philly. I only live in Jersey, but I'm telling you, come to Philly is always an experience for me.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah, so we actually met a couple months ago doing an event, I think, for Fatima News, some event we did to get August Cafe. You was a guest. And,
yes, I was.
And then you was on a dating thing, I think on Friday night with a pastor and
Pastor Lauren Haskell and Minister Eddie Seaton.
Yes, yeah, you was on there. Me and
yes.
T was on there too that Friday night. Yep, and it was definitely that's also a long conversation. It was like that. I was like, oh, I was getting hungry. I was like, but it was needed though. I got a lot from that, just learning the process about engagement, their journey, about answering questions, but Fatima was there with me, along with me, so that was very important. So it brought us closer, but a lot of things brought us closer. But
that's great.
I wanted to ask you a question that I answered two ladies earlier that I asked about. What is your perspective on what's been happening in Philly lately with the COVID-19, the social injustice, and also the gun violence that's been raging in Philadelphia, especially amongst our youth?
Amongst the youth. Well, I'm going to say it this way. I am not, and I don't make any bones about this, I watch the news probably once or twice a week, just so I don't live in my own bubble, and I know what's going on in the world, to be completely honest with you. But as far as everything with the gun violence, with COVID, with how we're treating people, with racial injustice, my stance on it is this, is I do the very best that I can to show the light, to share light. I try not to get involved in too many politician and conversations and politics and things. I really try to live out the word. I'm a Christian, so I try to live out the word. I try to shine the light. I try to give different perspective on how I treat everybody the same. That is something that I try to do. Amen. And obviously with prayer, all the time. But that's my best thing that I can always say is whatever's happening in the world that's negative, I try to know what's going on so that way I can live and do the exact opposite.
Right. So with me, I was kind of always a person that not watch the news, but now, 6 months, I'm starting watching the news every day because someone's going on, you be like, what's going on? So you can be more aware, more conscious of what's going on. Because a lot of times, people be sleeping on what's happening, and I think that's where they try to be always alert and aware, especially in the pandemic, be more aware more than ever. Yes. So it definitely takes a lot of prayer and a lot of faith and a lot of just meditation is returning the word, because so much going on right now, left and right. You got to stay on the right path that God chose you to do, and I think that's very highly important. So tell everyone in the audience here, who is Amber Jackson?
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you this way. It's Amber Shanelle Jackson.
Oh,
it's all good. I use my middle name.
Okay.
No, you don't. It's soon to be Amber Shanelle Bonnet, because I am getting married in November. I just recently got engaged. Yes, to my true love. And who am I? I say Amber Shanelle is because I do have a ministry, and it's called Amber Shanelle Worldwide Ministries. Okay? I always use my first and my middle name because your last name is always subject to change. As a woman, your last name is always subject to change, but my mom gave me Amber Shanelle. I've always loved my first name. I've always loved my middle name. So when God told me this is what I needed to do years ago, when I finally launched it last year, I named it Amber Shanelle Worldwide Ministries. So what I do is a plethora of things that we are not going to be here all day to talk about that. They can follow me on Facebook and my page to see that. But most of all, and I would say most importantly, is I am a Christian. And Amen. I truly believe in God. I believe in the Word of God. And my most important quality that I have and that I share is I serve people and I serve God the way that I do because I walked away from ministry years ago. People don't know that. I was called at a young age. I was licensed preacher in my 20s.
Wow.
And the call that God had on my life was really greater than the sacrifice that I wanted to make at that time to be in my 20s doing ministry. So I decided to walk away, and I pretty much told God, I don't want to do this anymore.
Wow.
But last year, it was probably a couple of years ago, God was calling me back. I never stopped treating people right. I was always a light in the world.
Right,
I was always sweet and nice. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the ministry part, I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this. I walked back to God, and I'm honest to God, and I let him know that, I repented. I repented. I asked God to forgive me because I was holding up blessings of other people because I wasn't doing what God had called me to do.
Right.
So all of the areas in my life that I went through have gotten me to this place today. So I'm more grateful than anything that he's given me another chance to do his work, and he's truly done it through me.
Yeah, so I want to get back to that question. So Crystal's on here. Speaking of Crystal, she's on here.
Okay.
Are you know Crystal and Flawless Beauty Fabulous is here? Well, I'm trying to everybody know her. So, so
I may or may not.
yeah. So you say you walked away at that time.
At that time.
What made you walk away, and what made you walk away from not doing the call that God called you to do that at that time? And what was the reason that you came back? Answer that call from years ago.
So the reason, so I was called years ago. I was called as a young child. My mom always knew when she carried me that she was carrying somebody that was going to carry the word. So my mom always held on to that word. I was, I think, called to preach maybe 20s, got licensed like 24, 25. I don't have the exact dates. The reason why I walked away is because I saw myself great. And when I say great, I'm not talking about a pedestal. I saw myself doing big things for the Lord, ministering to people, sharing with people, talking to people. And the truth is I got scared because it created, I had to sacrifice. Okay, it wasn't about sacrificing the things of the world that people think in drinking and drugs and sex and alcohol. It was sacrificing myself of what Amber wanted to do to truly doing what God wanted me to do. And I honestly, I didn't have faith. It was almost like I told God that he made a mistake for calling me. So I didn't believe in myself in what God had called me to do. So it was easier, instead of walking through the areas of fear and not making it, and oh my God, you might have to look crazy sometimes. Sometimes you might have to be embarrassed. You might not speak well as you think as you do, or you know what I mean. I was always trying to live up to somebody else's expectations because I compared myself to other people.
You shouldn't do that.
And shouldn't do that. So instead of being exactly who God called me to be and doing my best at the level that I was at, which is something I do the best at the level I am, I was too busy looking at other people in the same arena like me and comparing of how I was. So I couldn't find my way. I couldn't figure it out. It wasn't about partying, and it wasn't even about all of that. Like, people think, oh, you want to do your, no, it was like, I can't. Lord, like, call somebody else. Like, I'll be nice to people, I'll serve people, I'll visit them in the nursing home, I'm gonna always be sweet. But as far as this ministry and serving and preaching, like, come on. Like, God, you must really mean somebody.
It was like that saying. It was like God told you accountable for that. You're not going to set it down, but you're going to come back to me.
Right.
And then I think you had to overcome yourself. Because you said it was very about comparing to other people and what they were doing, trying to, in the day, you had to fill out the Amber Shanelle name for you.
Exactly.
And so that's, I think you got to overcome yourself.
I did.
You overcome those fears and not worry about people think.
Right.
The person care about is God's thing. That's it. You know what I mean? Because God was see what you're doing. It's about having your own name for you and not trying to be someone else's name, because if you try to do that, you're gonna be miserable and you're stressed out and tired and burned out and not winning. So that's why you had to fit your own lane, you know. So.
My own lane. And what brought me back was last year, it was August of 2019, 3rd or 4th. I went to an Up Now conference with, she's currently my mentor, she's my coach, she is now my pastor, Monica Haskell. Okay, I went to a Women in Ministry conference, and it was called Up Now. And I went to different workshops. I registered. It was a Thursday, Friday, and I think a Saturday. A Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. And I went by myself. I saw it on Facebook, and you know how you keep seeing things, and I was actually supposed to participate in this Women in Ministry conference. Like, it was basically comment and let me know if you're interested.
Okay.
Instead of me commenting, I just kept scrolling. But God was pulling me. So when it came down to it, I said, I'm not going to participate and give an opportunity to myself. I'm going to register and go. So I registered for the conference and went, and then enrolled in her mentorship program, and life has been different. I'm going to be ever since. Life has just been different. It helped give me the confidence that I needed back. It helped I was around other people like me trying to do the same thing, but what she encouraged and instilled in, I will say myself, because I take it personal, is that to basically be who you are.
Right.
Be yourself. You know, God made me who I am.
Right.
And this is who I am.
Exactly. That's what
so
it should be.
It just helps. So I would have to say that anybody that struggles with being themselves, you got to be around like-minded people.
Right. Plus, you're not alone. You know.
Yeah, that pour into you.
Yeah, the white face, you know.
Exactly.
So some people are the law face, so you're like, okay.
No, the right face. Yes.
So what does your ministry consist of in terms of the, like what topics y'all talk about in ministry that may be outside the box? I'm not sure, but I'm trying to get a great understanding of what your ministry does and what y'all talk about. So
Right. So Amber Shanelle Worldwide Ministries, first of all, it encompasses a few things. The one thing that encompasses is me being a speaker.
Okay.
Okay? Is me being a speaker, me being a preacher, me being a minister. So speaking is my number one thing.
Gotcha.
The one thing that I walked away from that I didn't want to do is the number one thing that I do. Okay?
Right.
That's the number one thing that I do, is what God called me to do. And speaking on different platforms to encourage, to share the word of God.
Yes.
Some things might be like I'm ministering. I've done different workshops. I've done panel discussions. I'll go to different county programs and everything. So it's Christian based, but it's for all people. Okay, so it's not just for the church. It's not just for the world. The message that God has given me is for everybody. And that message that I have on a shirt, which is not actually, I support one of my friends, but it's identity. What I am is an identity coach. Okay, everybody, you might have a transformation coach, you might have a life coach, you might have a relationship coach. I'm an identity coach. So what I do specifically is I help people find who they are in God. I encourage you to be exactly who God called you to be without explanation or apology to anybody.
Right.
That is what I do. So I host classes the third and fourth Tuesday of every month. From 6:45 to 8 p.m. by Zoom. You may see it on Facebook. I do that. Another thing I do is I am a mentor for the millennial generation. I have a millennial ministry empowerment group that I have, and it's teaching them to same thing, to be exactly who God called them to be, but do it at your level, because I was called as a millennial and was lost and didn't have my way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have anybody pouring back. I had people around me, but I didn't have that one person or that like-minded group to show me what to do. So I do that. Why? Because I struggled with it, so this is my way of giving back. And then the third thing that I do, and I'm just breathing, like, I struggled with weight. That was also a part of my identity, trying to find the right diet. You know how we do. 19 diets and 15 meal plans, and this don't work, so I'm not going to do Jenny Craig, so I'm going to do Weight Watchers. I'm not going to do Weight Watchers, I'm going to do Atkins. I'm not going to do Atkins, I'm going to count calories. So I've been up and down my whole life up until last year. In January of 2019, I made a decision that, okay, God, give me a plan, and I'm not going back. This is the year, and from this point forward, January 1st, I am not going to lose this weight and gain it back. So my highest weight ever was 245 pounds. I'm down to 190, so I just hit 55 pounds. So what I also do is, my third piece is I am a coach for full-figured women. That is what I do. I have for full-figured women. It's full-figured fitness and fit. We do motivation, we do challenges, And what that is because sometimes when you're a fuller figured woman, again, you're comparing yourself to somebody else.
True.
Just because you're heavier doesn't mean you can't do yoga. Just because you're heavier doesn't mean you can't work out. It doesn't mean that you're fit, or that you're not fit. Okay? Just because you're heavier doesn't mean that. So what I do is this ministry, which is Amber Shanelle Worldwide Ministries, encompasses everything in my life that I struggled with, so that people that are with me don't have to struggle the way I did. That's what I do.
Wow, that's a lot. That's threefold right there too.
It is. It's other things under that, but those are my three main segments that I say I truly pour into.
Right.
Is that.
Yeah, and so I definitely love that in terms of like the millennial finding who they are, that identity coach. That's kind of like I took what I experienced and turned into testimony, because like with the speech therapy, being bullied, with being ignored, being not taken seriously, not having like conversations that I had children in middle school about relationships and friendships, and anger, forgiveness, and mental health, and just self-care and self-love. Exactly. I kind of told that my kids, young kids, because I want them to know who they are and write an apology, because a lot of times our kids are scared to speak up, or scared to put themselves out there, because I think that's very, very important. Because a lot of times, a lot of kids are not okay with you, or a lot of kids are angry or are defensive all the time, and they're scared to speak up. And I feel that our kids need that right now. Then you find out they know their names, but they know who you are.
Exactly.
But find out what you do and just do it, and not worry about what people think. Because at the end of the day, it's about pleasing God, not people. And I started saying that. Someone else started saying that in like January. I'm like, it makes sense that at a time we try to please people. We be miserable, we be like frustrated, we burnt out, stressed out, and depressed. And then once you please God, there's actual peace come back. There's peace, there's healing, there's joy. Because you're not worried about what people think anymore. You're worried about what God thinks, because God's going to get pleased. That's all that matters, you know?
Exactly.
So,
that's exactly what it is. You hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah, so I want to talk. So you talk about, people are talking about your brain, struggling with weight, also like that, and they also find your calling, and now starting your calling. Now you're an author now. So one of the process that like you being an author, like becoming an author.
I fell into being an author.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing you'll find out about me, Lavon, is I'm very transparent.
Right.
I'm not going to make it look like, oh, I've been doing this for years. No. Again, I'm a part of a business mentoring group with Pastor Monica Haskell as my mentoring coach. And she was putting together a project. And the project was to write your story, okay, within about 4 to 5 pages or so, and you could be a part of a compilation book. Okay. Which is what I have right here. The book is called Overdue. So this was my first, it's called Overdue, and what this book is about is exactly what it says, is for the overdue, the people that you walked away, or you should have been doing this years ago. That's who she's called to. Right. So it was about, and I said, okay, I guess I'll try it. And that's what I say, I fell into being an author. That's what it was I did, is I fell into it, I submitted it, and I am now in this book. So I am a published author. I have some other things that I am working on personally. That's why I asked you. I have some other things because this inspired me. This was like step one to do it, and how you can do it so simply. Like sometimes we make the smallest projects, we blow them up to be humongous. And it's like it's not that serious or deep. You see what I mean? It was like we finished this, I think, in about a week. She gave us 2 weeks. She gave us 2 weeks, and we had 2 weeks to submit our story and get it edited professionally. So I learned how to find a professional editor. It was all these things, and we submitted to her, and she put it together. So it just showed me that it's all possible. It's whether or not that you want to actually take the step. So I'm working on a couple of things. Expect to see this soon. Probably, I'm going to say around the beginning of 2021.
Okay.
Okay, I have a few things in the works.
Okay. So where people can find us on social media, where can find you at? People can find more information about you, your ministry, also the book as well.
Okay, yeah. So the first place that I always share with everybody to go is to AmberShanelle.com. It's basically exactly how my name is on here. If you wrote it, it's AmberShanelle.com. And in there is an email address that you can email me. It comes directly to me because I am relational. So I make sure that I connect with people. If you email me, I will get back to you. And that way, if you want to sign up for any of my classes, if you want any information on my classes, if you want to purchase a book, I have a t-shirt that I've launched that says Girl with Goals. If you want to do any of those things, you can actually find me right there. And it connects you to my Instagram page and my ministry and events with Amber Shanelle business page as well.
Okay. And also, one more question. I have a question.
Sure.
So you said you did identity code sessions with the middle generation. Do you have like any activities that maybe I can do with our youth in terms of identity, especially as middle school, high school students, because they are in that stage of trying to find out who they are and what they're trying to do in terms of like know who they are and being okay with that. So is there like, do you have like an activity template or like something I can use or implement for my kids, especially as they now go to virtual school now? So because it's kind of gonna be more hard to find out where they are because they're not with their friends, or and plus they can't be in schools to like experience like the experiments and filling out the process of knowing where they are. Because I felt this year it's a lot this year that our kids are gonna be dealing with the trauma and they're working with their mental health piece and yourself and trying to find out who you are and worrying about what parents think about you. So what was your advice on that? So
my advice with that is this. I'll explain. So the programs that I have come directly from me.
Okay.
And what I offer, it's all life experiences that I've created to share points and principles on finding your identity on certain subjects. So that's that. So I don't have, and I have to be very honest, I don't have a cookie cutter program. And the reason why I don't have a cookie cutter program, because anybody that works with me personally or you work with me in a group, it is actually designed for that particular group. And I have points, I have principles, I have things that I'm sharing, but the Holy Spirit has downloaded that to me prior to. So I don't have a cookie cutter program. What I could say for you is what we could do is we could always connect and have a session to figure out what is your goal, what do you want them to accomplish during this next school season, what do you want to offer them, and what do you want to see out of them as well, like what is your mission. So we could always put something together for you as well to help you with that. But my programs are not cookie cutter.
I figured that.
It's okay.
Yeah, because you say identity, because I think that's one of the big things our youth are struggling with right now, especially this COVID, in terms of, I'm not saying struggling, but in terms of some youth are struggling with that.
They are.
Because, right, yeah, because in the day, I want the youth to break this cycle, break this series of curses of stuff they have seen and endured, because I want them to speak out about a lot of things, and I want them to not have that fear of them worrying about what people think, how they're going to react. I want them to be okay in their own skin. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Latino, Asian. I want them to be okay with their own skin and be comfortable with them doing that. So
what I would probably say is I would ask if you host them for a group. I don't know if it's virtual. It's probably
virtual.
So then I would probably I would ask open-ended questions. I always have 3 open-ended questions, not the same ones, but I would ask them what do they need help with, and I would ask them what is on their mind and what do they want to talk about. Okay, and then I would also ask them, how do they feel that you can help them?
Right.
Because it's I'm not going to say it's very easy, but it's easier to build a program when you're helping somebody with what they need help with, as opposed to what you want to help them with. And this way, based on their responses, you can build something and activities around it for them, and you can also know that you're giving them exactly what it is that they need. You're not guessing and pulling out of the air like, oh, let me talk about this. No. You just collect the data, what they need, and then you can build your program around that.
Right. This is going to be something for the fall, because when we start back programming in the spring. Because that's something I'm going to ask my kids on Monday next week with the summer program. Because I kind of did this with the virtual program and asked them, I did the intake form in terms of what topics, I put topics out there that we're going to talk about. and check off and know it's okay for them to talk about this. And then if there was a subject there that we didn't cover or put on there that you want to cover that we know. So we get responses about something about college planning. We had that next week. One of the kids suggested it was something about self-love. We did that Thursday. So we try to get them what the kids need. So that was good for me to follow up with my kids in the summer.
Right.
As they go away for 2 weeks. I don't know, we'll go connect with them again. So if we can help them in some type of way, that last session, what they need from us after they leave, then before school, we can help them get what they need, and then have those conversations, about identity, and I struggled about identity for years, especially in middle school. I really struggled with that. In high school, I was okay, but it took me to my 30s to find out who I was and be okay with that.
Oh, I get it, and I would be happy to help you if you needed any help or you want me to share or anything. By all means, just reach out to me.
I'll tell you one thing too with the kids after this Friday, and because the school district want us to do programming and on site at a site, but the schools are not open. So a lot of our kids go to school in Philly, they're gonna be home anyway. So it'd be hard for them to put them at risk for COVID. Put them on the bus and traveling, except they might not get tram passes to travel to a site in South Philly. Most of our kids don't live in South Philly at all. So if we can do something virtual with them, find out what they need before we come back, we can actually come back and we have to do ABCD. We got what we need for them, based on the kids' perspective, because that will help them get on stage on virtual programming to give them what they need. You know what I mean? So I was trying to see how we can do that because I want them, the kids can fall back to what they were just 5 weeks ago. So I feel like these kids are really changing, they're really evolving, they're verifying, they're really speaking up, and I feel that we want to keep that going. I don't want those moments to phase out. So. But also, Amber, you're gonna be part of something on August September 19th.
Yes.
September August Cafe 26. So for those who are watching, Amber will be one of the authors participating in August Cafe 26 on Saturday, September 19th at 4 p.m. I'll be on Zoom and at Waycard Cafe. I want to be there on site. But also, you support her tomorrow, book her journey as she did today. But again, you can see her again as well. But she's doing an also wonderful job. I thank God for us connecting. Just. Because I saw what you was doing, I had to connect with you. I wanted to get you involved. Plus, I saw the engagement too. How you proposed to you. That was really funny. It was really cute. Your mom knew the whole time.
Yes.
Oh man.
They got me on that.
Yeah, they did. Your mom knew the whole time.
I will never forget that day.
Yes, but I'm glad y'all connected. God doesn't make mistakes. He wants you back for a reason. Now, because he had to work on yourself first and get back to your purpose and what God's called you to do from years ago. He had to work on him as well. So God, once y'all find yourselves and find out your purpose was and go back to where your assignment was, y'all can then, everything, put together.
That's exactly what he did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So, thank you for those, Sheila, Crystal.
That's my mom.
Oh,
Sheila's my mom.
Oh, hey, Sheila, how are you? She was on here. She wrote, you better talk about it, So, Emily J was on here.
That's my assistant.
Okay, she put the rest out there as well. Chef Larry's on here. Chef Larry, a good friend of mine. Again, for those who have been on here for the whole entire time, thank you so much for just watching with us. This is our longest show that we had the past 2 years, but it's been worth it. Having 3 outstanding guests, you closing out our guests today. So So again, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your transparency, your journey, because that identity and that transparency is so very, very important. So we're going to do it. I'm going to see you in a couple of weeks. I know it's going
exactly.
I know. Couple weeks. Then also we'll talk as well about the crushes you told me about with the kids, because I think that what you're doing is needed in this time. Really helping women especially the work that He calls you to do in that specific area that you're doing. So for those who've been watching, thank you so much. Appreciate all of you. I pray that you have a blessed rest of your Saturday. Be safe out here because there's a lot going on. Please wear a mask. COVID's still out here as well. Just be mindful of people and just mindful of yourself. And look in the mirror before you go to bed and say to yourself, am I doing what God's called me to do?
Amen.
So if you are, you keep doing it. But if you are, ask God, what more can I do to make this better for me and for you? Because in the day, we try to make it in. You try to make it in and just say, well done, my good faithful servant. That's all it is. So we want to leave this earth empty. It's not because we want nothing left. We will leave this earth empty. So do anything that God calls you to do, and be safe and be mindful and be grateful for what God's called you to do. So and take time to celebrate yourself and enjoy the victory as well. So Amber, thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Hope you for the rest of the hope you tune in next week. We got LaQuan Richards on the show next week and Jay Rivers on the show as well. So please tune in next week. Support what we are doing, Path to Greatness, and our radio show platform. It's really about getting people who've been transformed by God to do what He's called them to do in these last evil days. So be safe, be mindful, be great, and be blessed.